When I started in law enforcement, we'd get the calls of there's a kind of creepy old man down by the playground watching kids, right? Well, they don't have to do that anymore. And what we're seeing now is, back in around 2015, NCMEC had around 180,000 cases of extortion reported to them. Now it's almost 900,000, in 2024. So we're seeing a huge increase. And you
Yeah.
think about this, just did a little math on this. Now, 900,000 divided by 50 states, divided by 365 days a year, it's around 50 cases a day per state. And it's 50 kids. But here's the big thing. Most of those cases are never reported. And so
Right.
I would say, being very generous, 1 in 10, I'd say probably 1 in 20, 1 in maybe even 50, but 1 in 10. So really you're looking at 500 to, 1,000 cases a day happening in just my state, your state, every state. And so this is really what we've seen is just really the explosion of sextortion, because it's becoming so easy to do. I mean, they just have to have a smartphone and internet connection.
Can you help, for someone who's never heard of this before, explain what sextortion is?
You have to have a real or an AI nude image of somebody, right? You got to threaten them to get something. So you have to have the image, then threaten them to either share that image, embarrass them, or use violence against them to get either more nude photos, have sex, pay money, or do anything against their will. And so that's really, to understand sextortion, is pretty simple. They're extorting them for something. Could be sex, money, more nudes, anything against their will. And what they're using is the nude images.
If a child is being targeted, what are the most important steps to take right away for a parent or a caregiver, someone who learns about a situation like this happening?
Number one is always stop communicating. Are they going to, they said if you stop communicating, we're going to send something. Are they going to send it? Probably. But here's the thing. If you don't stop at some point, they're going to send it eventually. So you've got to stop right up front. And the good thing, if there's a good thing in this, is these are business people, right? These people are about money. And so if they know they're going to waste time with you, when they can do this to somebody else who's going to send them money, they're going to eventually go to somebody else, or eventually will leave you alone. And so, but you've got to stop communicating, block them, whatever you need to do. And then number two is this, for a young person, is to tell somebody. You've got to get help. There's a lot of embarrassment. Maybe they're thinking they're going to get in trouble. Maybe they've been threatened. But you've got to tell somebody, because you've got to get help with this, because keeping this by yourself is super isolating. All right. And then the third one is we got to keep that evidence to be able to find out who these people are. And the fourth thing is we really have to preach to our children that, if this happens to you, you got to know it's going to affect you. Tomorrow's going to be different going to school than it ever has been before. While it may affect you, it does not have to define you. It doesn't have to define who you are and define your future. You're going to get through this. You're going to move on. You're going to learn from this, and you can live the life that you want to live. Because a lot of kids just don't see that there's any future because of the really the place that they're in when this is going on at 2 a.m. and they're by themselves.